Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thanks for tuning in to this week's Productive Agent Podcast. My name is Tony Ruiz. I'm the host and founder of the Productive Agent Podcast and Facebook group. Our mission here at the Productive Agent is to motivate, inspire, encourage, and educate those working in the real estate industry or those considering getting into the real estate industry. I was having a great conversation the other day, this week with a friend of mine, and we were just talking shop. And I wanted to share some of that with you. And we were talking about business and how things are going in sales, how things are going with the podcast, etc. And he asked me a very important question. And he asked me, Tony, what is the purpose of the podcast? Why are you doing this? And of course, I told him our mission, which I just told you. And it kind of froze me and caught me off guard. And I was like, what is the purpose of it? And I'll be honest with you, it's not to make money. It's not to have a incredibly worldwide successful podcast and earn, income there. If that's a byproduct, great. It's not to become like some personal coach or for real estate or anything like that. It's honestly just to help as many people as possible. All right. We started doing this kind of stuff in trainings back in 2021. And it was on Zoom, and we still do those every Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be doing another one this Thursday. And I decided to do the podcast to extend our reach outside of just the people that we know. Hopefully we can touch more lives this way. My two main inspirations are Andy Frisella and Ricky Carruth. If you listen to their podcasts, they have two very different messages. Ricky's is more focused on free coaching of real estate. All right. Andy is more focused on entrepreneurial mindset, growth, but they both come from a place of giving and helping. And I think that's our biggest purpose is to impact others through what we have learned, our experiences. And that's really what fills my cup. Just the other day, I sat down for about an hour on Zoom helping an agent. He had questions about the buyer's representation form, and I talked to him about that, went over each paragraph, and then how to fill it out. And we also set up his sky slope forms. And he was like, wow, thank you so much for doing this. And he was so thankful, which of course, made me feel good. But honestly, even before he said thanks, like it just made me feel good that I was able to help him. And that's really the purpose of this podcast. All right. It's not me to become this star of the podcast in the real estate world. Again, if that's a byproduct, awesome. But if I could help one other person and motivate them, inspire them, encourage them, help educate them to grow their business, then I've made an impact. And that's why we're doing this. I have some really cool announcements to get to before we start the show. My great friend Shane Tokheim has agreed to come on and be a co-host for the show. So something that I've kind of been thinking about for several weeks is just to get another voice consistently on here. But I didn't want to put that pressure on somebody whose schedule is super busy. But he was able to commit to at least doing once a month, maybe even more. I think we're going to all benefit from that, myself included, of just having his insight, his expertise of how to grow your business. And his energy and excitement about everything is something that you'll definitely get a lot out of. So we're excited to get that going here in February and for the rest of the year. We're also going to continue to bring in awesome agents to talk about their business, again, to motivate, inspire, encourage, and educate all of you. Next week, I'm super excited to have Pat Hayes with EXP in San Antonio come on and talk about his experience of getting into real estate, growing a real estate business at a super high level, and talk about EXP and agent attraction. When I first met Pat, if you've never met him in person, he lights up the room with his energy. He's a woo type of guy, loves to have fun, and it's just very contagious. And he loves this phrase that I'll never forget is he talks about this is life changing, and he'll expand more on that next week. You do not want to miss that. But from personal experience, I thought that was a bunch of BS when I heard it the first time. I was like, okay, cool, whatever, dude. I was rolling my eyes. But this is truly life-changing, getting in this real estate space and having the opportunities that we have. and working with an incredible brokerage that gives us even more opportunities than just the normal real estate agent. So super excited to have him on next week. You don't want to miss that. So make sure that when you're listening to these podcasts, go ahead and subscribe to them, whether you're listening to it on Apple or Spotify or any other place that you listen to podcasts. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes that are coming out. I would also encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So if you want to watch these episodes instead on YouTube, they're all there. As soon as we go live, I post it onto YouTube as well. So go ahead and subscribe there so you don't miss any episodes that are coming out. We're trying to do 2 a week. We have a Monday motivation now, and then we try to release these on Wednesdays as well. So also please leave a review and give us a rating. And more importantly is share the show. So if you get value of what we're about to talk about, just simply share the show with a friend. All right. Click the little share button and then send it to them in a text message. Say, hey, you should check this out. Great information. Obviously, if you don't like it, don't share it. But if you like it, if you got something out of it, if it made you laugh, if it made you think, share the show. That would really help us grow. So with that being said, let's get into the actual show. Today's episode is number 17, rolling right along. It's entitled How to Jolt Your Business Forward Using the Greatness Tracker and the Hot Warm List. Some of you have probably heard of these things, but if you have not, this is going to be brand new information for you. So before we get into that, I want to give you a little bit of backstory of how I came across these 2 tools that really elevated my business to the next level. Excuse me. I started back in 2019 in real estate, and Ricky Carruth talks a lot about this. When new people get into the business, they have a really high and lots of excitement. I can't wait to get started and help as many people as possible. And then they quickly hit a low because they realize, man, this is way harder than I thought it was going to be. All right. I'm pretty sure every single agent has experienced that at one point or another. And then they get a little bit of traction, and then they get back to that high, and then they hit a low. All right. And especially at the beginning of your career, it is a roller coaster of a ride. But I'm telling you, these 2 tools that I was introduced to back in 2020 stabilized my career, got me focused on what did I need to do, and has really elevated my business to where it's less of a roller coaster ride than it was back then. I attended a training in late probably December of 2019, and it was led by this guy named Shane Tokheim. I didn't know who he was, but it was based on setting goals for the next year. And from that, of course, he was connecting with agents as he's a title rep, and he was very persistent on wanting to meet up with me and talk about coaching and talk about all kinds of different things and how he could help grow my business. Of course, I'm thinking coaching, oh my God, that's expensive. I don't necessarily have all the money to commit to that. So I was hesitant, all right? But I finally hit kind of a low, probably around March or April of 2020. And I knew that I had to do something to kind of snap me out of it. So I committed to meeting Shane at his famous location of Jim's Restaurant right here on Blanco in 1604. And from that moment, we clicked, and we pretty much have lunch or breakfast at least once or twice a week. I call him whenever I need a lift. But he introduced me to 2 books that same day that completely changed my life and introduced me to these two tools that I'm going to talk about. One of them is Miracle Morning. If you haven't read that, I highly recommend it. And the other one is called Ninja Selling. These 2 books changed my life forever, which we won't get into that right now. But more importantly, out of Ninja Selling, I learned about the hot warm list, and Shane kind of coached me through what that is. And also I had heard about the greatness tracker from somebody else, but Shane gave me more focus and adjusted the greatness tracker to my business. My business immediately improved, stabilized, and simply by using these 2 tools, it just gave me a clear vision of what I needed to do every single day. So my question to you is, where is your business right now? Do you want to take your business to the next level? All right. Or are you comfortable with where you're at? There's nothing wrong with that. You're like, hey, this is the most money I've ever made. I have everything taken care of. This is good. Cool. That was pretty much me the past 2 years. Going into 2023, I want to make more money. I'm comfortable, but how much better could my life possibly be? And what could I do to help people if I had more financial means? All right. So ask yourself, do you want to take it to the next level? And then if you do, like, how bad do you want it? Are you willing to get out of your comfort zone? So, and at that time when I met him, I knew I needed to do something different. I knew I needed to make a change. So that's really what propels me forward. So let's talk about the hot warm list. The hot warm list is just a simple lead tracker. This is not your CRM. All right, and I'll explain the difference between this list and a CRM. CRM is stuff that is a system that holds all of the information about any client or anybody that you want to hold information about. All right, it's birthdays, it's spouses' names, it's addresses, all those things. This lead tracker or hot warm list is just a name, all right, a status, source, last contact, lender, and notes, which I'll talk about here in a second. But bottom line is, think of this as a snapshot of your pipeline, right? It's easy to view. You can pull it up on your computer or you can pull it up on your phone, all right? And it's the people that we need to focus on because these are the people that are going to get us to a payday as soon as possible. It's a super simple spreadsheet. You can do this on pen and paper. You can do this on Excel, right? Microsoft Excel. I choose to use Google Sheets, and that's just what I like. What I love about Google Sheets is it's on my computer and it's on my phone and it's on any computer in the world. I just have to log into my Google account, right? So it's very portable. My experience, and I'm sure Excel does this as well, but Excel's like on my computer and I'm sure they now have an app, but I just got into Google Sheets a while ago and that's what I like to use, Google Docs. So anyways, it's very portable. You can pull it up at any moment like, hey, let me see your hot warm list. Boom, here it is. So going over it, let me pull it up here to kind of walk you through stuff. All it is a name, all right? So one column is just a name, all right? The next column is the status. So as far as status is, you could put whatever you want, but I have it listed as interested, searching, and that's pretty much it, right? Once they go under contract, I'll change it to UC. So I know these people are under contract. All right. And then once they close, I actually move them to a different list of closed deals. All right. So far we have the name, we have the status, and then the next one is source, the next column. Source is like, how do you know this person? So you'll start racking up so many leads in here that you go, who is that person again? So I have sphere of influence, I have referral, I even have like who referred it to me. All right, here's a Mrs. Spangler referral. OH for open house. So this is a lead I made at open house. I have one KV Core. So somebody randomly landed on my website and they're on KV Core. I have Chucky's referral. I have a TikTok lead, believe it or not. All right, I have a Liz Garza referral. So you get the idea. Sphere of influence, open house, referral. Starbucks, I randomly met somebody at Starbucks, bumped into them. So that's how did you come to find this person and get their contact, right? That's the source. The next column for me is the last time that I reached out to them, not the last time that we talked. Some of these is just like, I reached out to these people, on the 31st of January, I talked to this person. So every time that I come in here on a daily basis, I go through and go, oh, look, I haven't talked to this person since the 24th of January. So you know what? Let me follow up with them and make sure that they're good. So this kind of reminds me of the last time that I at least tried to contact them or had a conversation with them. All right. So you want to kind of make sure that those are recent. So as I go down my list, I have a lot of these people that I talked to on the 30th, just a couple days ago. So there's no need for me to really reach back out to them. I don't really have any update or anything like that. So that's what keeps me on track. The next column is lender. So I use a couple different lenders, and I want to make sure that I know which lender is working with who. So I put the name of the lender here. All right. If it's a cash deal, I'll just put cash. If it's a renter, I put renter because there's no